All right. So the other thing I want to know is how do I mute when I want to mute? I don't think it's that. No, I don't think it's that. Nope. Oh, found it. Perfect. All right. I am just going to hang out, and if anybody shows up, they show up. But I'm working on a project, and I can't show the project, but I can sit and just hang out on live while I work on it. I think that's going to work out a lot better. I'm working on a piece of wood that we engraved on. I can't show you the image because I don't have permission to. It's a personal, private logo, I guess you could say. Logos. And so I can't show it, but we had painted the main part of the wood a red barn stain. And one of the colors I have to use for the logo is red, like a regular red. And it was not showing up well by itself. So the second letter I did all white, and now I'm going over that with the red, and it's showing up much better that way. I think that would work, but I still don't know overall if the two reds are going to be kind of icky together. I'll have to see it kind of better, I guess. What are you doing, Odin? Oh, there's somebody here. I haven't figured out how to pull up the chat yet. There's got to be a way. Oops, that's not it. Did that work? No, it didn't. Let's see. What if I click on this? No, that just tells me where it's at. Well, y'all are gonna have to tell me how to get the chat to pull up. That's part of the reason I'm just hanging out, because I don't know how this works yet. Let's see. What's that? Ooh, that is not it. Nope, that's not it. Flip camera, mute, chat. Ah, yay! Hello, BR Chef 2. Thank you for joining me. I got it to come up, I don't know how, but I finally did. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. We had brisket. We had red potatoes, mashed potatoes, asparagus, rolls, cranberry sauce, stuffing. Yeah. I didn't really prep the brisket like I should have, and I couldn't find my meat tenderizer, so my meat was really, really tough. I'm painting, by the way, down here, so in case you're wondering what I'm doing. I couldn't find my meat tenderizer, so unfortunately it was really, really tough meat. And I sliced it up, and I'm hoping to let it soak in the juices a little bit more, and I don't know if that's gonna help or not, but yeah, the meat was pretty tough. But it is what it is. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's getting to be that time of year. We barely got our leaves picked up, let alone started thinking about Christmas decorations. I like to do it middle of November, so that, you know, it's a good solid 5 weeks at least. Well, more than that really, because we don't take it down till my son's birthday in January. Um, but yeah, the last couple years, I don't think I've gotten it up till like the first week of December probably. So yeah, I apologize. I'm super grungy today, but I'm just chilling. I had the day off. I have tomorrow off, and I took Monday off. And I put on my time off slip that I was taking it for a mental health day. Smells House Hobbies. Hello. I don't know that I've seen your name before. Smells House Hobbies. Did you change your name and I recognize you from one of the coin channels? Or did you just find me through one of the coin channels? Interesting. So yeah, I'm painting on a wood piece right now that I can't show you because it's a private logo. But I figured I've never done the streaming thing before, and I'd try it out while I'm painting and see how it goes. I cannot believe it's already Thanksgiving, to be honest. It kind of, like, kind of felt like I had a week left to go. So I was really ill prepared. But yeah, this time of year, it always just sneaks right up on you. You get so tired and busy, and then the snow starts hitting, and you're busy with the snow, and everything just kind of gets away from you real fast. My husband's downstairs working on the laser engraver, trying to get it working properly. It's been not behaving itself. Well, thank you for stopping by. Have a good Thanksgiving and sleep well. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I that particular name I don't think I recognize. So I thought maybe it was somebody I would recognize who changed their name. But yeah, I've been wanting to do some paint with me type stuff. I have one that I can put on camera and actually just have the camera on the painting that I'm doing. But I'm not working on that currently. I'm trying something else. So, but yeah, when I get a chance, it's not a whole lot of craziness. It's just white and black on the red barn stain. But as you can see, that red barn stain, it looks really orangey in this lighting for some reason. But red paint doesn't show up so great next to it. So we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, there's just a lot of funny little things about, you know, doing the painting that I don't know if people, you know, like newer people to painting might not know. I have this little brush that I'm using that literally has, let's see if I can get it to focus. It's like 3 strands I cut it down to. And I use that for a lot of the little areas to get a lot of the details. Every fine tip brush that I've bought just isn't small enough. So I just buy like small tip cheap brushes from China or wherever I happen to come across a pack. And then I cut bristles down to make it small enough for the detail work that I do. I don't even have any good examples either, do I? Let me look. I might have some examples. Well, I painted this, but this doesn't really require fine tip stuff. But let me turn on my overhead light. That might help a lot. But yeah, I do a lot of little painting stuff. Let me turn on my overhead light. Whoa. Let there be light. Pardon my mess in the background. My room is... I promise you it's not messy. It just looks messy. The only thing on my floor is my purse, my boots, and a pair of socks. Everything else is just... It just looks messy. It's not messy, though. Trying to find a good example. We did this one for Easter, but it doesn't really require fine tip either. But it's just like a little wood round. And then I painted the colors. So yeah. There's been a bunch, but most of it's already gone to the customers that they were going to. Don't really have much that I can show. I have another stack of really cool ones that I've painted, but I can't show them. Because they are also a private artist that we engraved his actual drawings on. So I can't show those either. There's a lot of things I can't show. I wish, I wish I had more opportunity to show things that, like he made me this for my birthday. I know it's backwards, but, and I've been trying to paint it. It was supposed to be like really cool green and purple. I don't know if I can get the sparkles to show. Oh, it's dusty. It's been sitting on my desk for too long. You can kind of see it sparkly, but not really great. It's like an emerald green and a purple. It was really pretty, I thought, but it's just not coming out the way I hoped. So yeah. How's your Thanksgiving been going? Has it been quiet and peaceful? I haven't really made it to a lot of the auctions lately because I've been, well, I work 10-hour shifts, and I don't get off work till 1 a.m. So yeah, if the auctions are in the morning, mid-afternoon, or in the evening, I pretty much miss it because I'm either sleeping, getting ready for work, or thank you, or I'm at work, and I work in a metal shop and get zero signal in the building. I can't. A lot of times I don't even get my text messages until I go on break, and as soon as I get outside, everything floods in. So yeah, I can't send messages, I can't listen to music. But apparently in that building, it's only Verizon that has that problem. Yeah, I wish I had better examples to show. Someday I will. I wish I could show you the really cool ones that I've done a bunch of and I've gotten really good at, but I just can't show them on camera. Yeah, I don't think the red is coming out next to the red barn. It just doesn't show up well enough. So that's a bummer. So I'm going to let that dry and see what the hubby thinks. Were you here when I talked about burning my hand? I have a frozen steak on my on my desk that I am keeping my hand on that I burnt. Oh. I don't burn myself very often, but when I do it good. I'm just trying to clean up my area a little bit so I can move that other thing down. Alright. So yeah, typical artist desks, work areas, it's always kind of a mess as we fly through things. So I'm going to see if I can adjust the camera down to get a good angle. I got this really cool, here I'll show you the phone mount. Oh, if I can get my phone out. Sorry. There we go. Oh, did I flip the camera? I did. So it's this gooseneck mount. It's really cool, but it's really strong. So like it takes a lot of like oomph to maneuver it. So I'm going to see if I can flip the camera back around. Let's see if I can get a decent angle. There, how's that? Is that in focus? Pretty much, kind of. Yeah, so I use these little squeeze bottles, and because the wood is so I want to say grainy, but you can kind of see the grains in it. It absorbs the paint really fast. Well, you can see it's kind of spreading where I put it. And then, so I just kind of squirt a dab of paint onto the wood, and then I manipulate it with a paintbrush. That way, I try to get it thick enough that it doesn't seep down into the crevices, and then you can see them. But it's a lot of picking up and putting down. And gotta get the bubbles. And with the white, especially with the wood being already stained a dark color, I have to keep coming back and doing a second layer. I don't know if you can see there. There. That's when it just soaks right into it. That was the whole first layer. So then I have to go back over every layer and get it a second time so it shows up really nice. And try to do it without laying my hand in previously wet paint. That's the tricky part, because you get going and you forget, and then you lay your hand in right in the wet paint, and then you set it over here, and now you got all the colors everywhere. I'm also left-handed, so you know, I'm used to that happening with my pencil on my notebook too. Just smear the pencil all along the page as I go. I think I goofed right there. I'm gonna look really quick. I did. So if I get a little bit onto the stain, what I've been doing is I have a punch tool that I got at the Dollar Tree that I'm gonna drop. And honestly, generally you can just scratch really, really lightly and scratch enough of the paint off that you can't really see that it was there. So I'll check this other area while I'm here. That one's good. And then I keep the bottles on their side. I know you can't really see that very well, but I just keep them on their side. I've noticed that that helps keep air bubbles down, so that when I do put the paint on the wood, I'm not just getting straight air bubbles, which is really annoying. I'm going to move my water over here. So yeah, I just glob the paint on and then move it with the paintbrush. Thankfully, this isn't a super detailed piece. It's just having to go back over it twice, 3 times to get it to not show through. And even then, it's yellowing, which maybe I should have used an enamel paint instead of a straight acrylic. I don't know. I'll have to test that out sometime. And it's not yellowing because of the stain, because I always have that issue, no matter what I'm working on. Oh, I saw a dog hair. See, and I got splatters. The other day when I was doing it, it had a bunch of air bubbles in it, and so I'd go to squeeze the paint out, and it would just, little tiny spatters everywhere. But I'll scratch all those off at the end, except for that big one. Here we go. And I just laid my hand in the paint. See? I didn't go over every other like I was. I forgot. And then I laid my hand straight in the paint. Never fails. Can you imagine being like a really fancy good artist and doing like a masterpiece and having that happen, and then you know, like right about when you're almost done with this masterpiece, and then you freaking lay your hand across it and fucking black paint or something. That'd be devastating. I don't think it would ruin it. You'd probably just have to go back and paint over it. Oh, fingers are starting to hurt. Back on the stake. I will never be that kind of artist, so it's hard to say. But yeah, being a left-handed person, I would imagine it's more likely to happen to me than it would a right-handed person. So this one is still not dry. This is the one I started with, and it's still not dry. I've gone every other, so if I continue, I'm going to end up laying my hand in the paint again. So what I'm going to do is come back to this one I was just on and do that one a little bit further down while these continue to dry. So yeah, Thanksgiving dinner was the intent was good, but not everything came out well. I didn't feel like the asparagus cooked very well. The red potatoes weren't totally cooked. And the brisket was just absolutely tough as hell. I couldn't even chew most of it. So, yeah. Learned my lesson there. I should have either crock-potted it yesterday. Or, I don't even know if that helps. If you have a really tough piece of meat, if you just like crock-pot it overnight, does that make it more tender, or does it matter? Does it just end up overcooking an already tough meat? Mr. Chef. Sounds like you'd be the kind of guy that would know about that kind of stuff. I am not a big meat cooker. I don't typically, if I'm cooking meat, it's usually my little breakfast sausages or hamburger meat. I don't do well cooking. I have a couple recipes of chicken I do well, but yeah, I'm not a steak and brisket and tenderloin and all that cooker. We don't actually eat that much meat in this house, so that's not part of it. I've just never, well, maybe that is part of it. I've never been a big meat eater. I mean, I'll eat it if it's served, but yeah, typically it's not what I opt for. So, just not good at cooking meat. And I also don't know a lot about it. And I'm wondering if, since it's already been cooked, it was cooked in the oven, oh gosh, about between 3 and 4 hours. And it was like 7-8 pounds. But it's just, it was still, you know, it was like medium rare. But I'm wondering, now that the initial cooking is done, could I now just put it into a crock pot and let it soak overnight? Would that make it more tender? I mean, honestly, I don't care if it turns into frickin' shredded beef at this point, but at least it would be edible. It's so tough it's not even really edible. Okay. So, I'll start cutting off the branches here so that I'm staying away from that area and don't end up laying in it. Oh, and now that I'm not on camera, I can take my mask off. I think I'm getting something. My nose has been all funky today. funky today. So yeah, while I'm on here, I might as well do some shout outs. Shout out to Journals of Awakening. Shout out to Be Our Chef. Shout out to the Durbans. And a couple of channels I really like to listen to if you haven't checked them out already are Amar Energy. He does some tarot stuff, but he does a lot of just kind of daily, maybe I'd call it energy work. It's like he kind of senses what's going on and relays messages, really. But he's got a really wicked sense of humor, and he doesn't really sugarcoat things. He kind of lays it out like it is, and I love listening to him. I'm always so excited when I see a video from him. I've been following him for several years now. Probably, gosh, since before he was, I think he was living in California at the time. And then another one that I followed for many, many years is Kellyanne Maddox. She is my go-to gal. She's gotten me through a lot of stuff. And she is, disclaimer, she is a pagan witch. But that's not all that she talks about. She talks about many other things that are super helpful. And she's got an incredible insight. She's just a natural at being able to put things into words that help you to see it from a more wider perspective, I guess. And, you know, taking ownership of what you may need to look at. And she's adorable on top of that. What? I was just shouting people out. Well, you know, naming some of the channels I watch. I haven't really been watching that much YouTube anymore. I was watching Adventures with Purpose, but I won't be watching them. I will, however, be continuing to watch all of the ex-employees of Adventures with Purpose. If you haven't, if you don't know what Adventures with Purpose is, definitely check it out so that you can find all of the people that worked for the guy that started it. It as a company, I don't even know what you would call it, but Adventures with Purpose will probably never be a thing ever again after this whole debacle. But the people that have been on the channel and been doing the work are awesome. Unfortunately, they got in a crappy situation by who they were working for. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a live for like probably 2 years, to be honest. But I didn't know how because I didn't have the subscribers. And I keep making videos, I swear to God I do. But I keep deleting them. I don't know what the deal is. I just can't make any content lately that I don't feel like I'm just either complaining or that just isn't interesting. Oh, another channel I really like. Oh no, what's her name? Oh, oh shoot, hold on. Oh my gosh, I'll have to look it up. It's Gypsy something. And she is this little British lady or English lady. Not sure which, but she is just the most adorable thing. I love her. She's got the sweetest voice and she's so calming and just Her art is beautiful. I love her videos. They're very, very grounding. Can't think of her name though. Gypsy something. Her whole like energy to me is this beautiful peachy color. She just makes me happy. I enjoy her. And I don't know how I came across her. She just came into my feed one day. Like so many of us have. Apparently there is. Because, so the question is there a difference between British and English? I don't have the answer. However, I just asked that question a couple weeks ago because my son was telling me about a mutual acquaintance of ours that he's from England, and apparently when my son said that he was British, he got very offended. So then I was asking somebody kind of randomly, you know, is there a difference? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a big difference. They are not the same thing. So I have yet to look it up, but apparently some English people get very, shoot, what's that word? Offended if you call them British. Yeah. I'm not sure what that's about, but I just recently learned that was a thing. I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. I was thinking maybe it's something like calling somebody from Spain Mexican, but I don't think it's that. However, it could have to do with territory division in England. It is Great Britain. England, Great Britain. Kind of thought it was all the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I tend to be semi-smart about stuff like that. You know, like I know that Ireland and Australia are not the same continent. Like, you know, I know some basics, but that one definitely took me by surprise because I've watched a lot of English YouTubers over the years and never heard anything, no hint or whisper of that before, so I am confuzzled. Very confuzzled. So yeah, I'm just kind of circling around. I kind of have done a lot of white now, so I want to make sure that I don't end up laying in my own paint now that I've really laid on a lot of white. So I'm going to move out to the edges and do more of the black. Put my little rubber top back on my paint and then grab the black. And basically I just do the same thing with the black. But the black paint I have is a lot thicker than the white. And I can use a bigger brush. Actually, I could have been using a bigger brush all along, I just wasn't. I don't know why. So yeah, I have to remind myself when I'm doing this to not spread it too thin. I don't need to fill in all the gaps yet. I'm really just trying to fill in the grains. I want it thick enough that it starts to fill in the grains so that I don't have to go over it 20,000 times. I will go over it once really well, and then if I feel like it's still too grainy or it doesn't look like I was hoping, then I'll go back over it a second time. But I've learned the hard way working on wood that it's kind of better, you're better off just doing a first round basically and then coming back and doing touch-ups or second layers. Unless you have to do a second layer before you can move on to the next thing. I guess it just depends. I'm sure everybody has their own patterns for stuff. But what's nice about the black is I can just really lay it on thicker, give it a little swoosh swoosh, and away I go. Because I don't have to go over it a second time because of the fade out like the white. I'm just trying to fill in the grains. God, every time I say grains, I can hear how stuffy I sound. Alright. Can you even see what I'm doing? The chat's kind of covering some of it, so I'm not sure if it's on camera or not. That would be kind of boring to not actually being able to... Not that it isn't boring, but it's nicer if you can see what the heck I'm talking about. I think. Good stuff. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 11:30. Guess I didn't realize it was that late. Everybody's sleeping already. Everybody's in their turkey comas. Turkey comas. We did not do turkey at all, especially since I was hearing all about the bird flu going through all the turkey farms. I'm like, I am good. We don't eat that much turkey, and it's just the three of us, so I have no pressure to make a damn turkey. And I'm not a big ham eater either. I don't like ham. Although the very first Thanksgiving I cooked, my ham was so... I don't like ham, but my ham was so good that I could not stop eating it. And then I tried to make it... I don't remember if it was the year after that or the year after. It was either a year later or 2 years later. I tried to make it again with that same recipe, and it was not nearly as good. So yeah, I tend to find with my cooking that the first time I make a dish with a new recipe, comes out great, delicious, freaking bomb. And every time I make it after that, it's meh. I don't know what the deal is. There's maybe, as far as like dishes that I've tried making and then made again, I'd say there's maybe 2 or 3 that are good every time I make them. But a lot of times I found that once I've made it once, it never tastes as good again. Anybody else have that? Or is it just me? I still get this weird... So you know how like you feel younger than you thought you would at the age you're at? If that makes any sense. You know, like I'm 42. I kind of thought that my brain would feel like a mature adult, I guess, at 42, and I'm still I feel like I'm still the same brain I was in my 20s, you know? And I was going where with that? Oh, yeah, so while I'm cooking and doing stuff in the kitchen, I still have those moments where I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the adult, you know, the mom, the wife, cooking the meal in the kitchen, in the house. It's surreal because I don't know. I guess I just never pictured it as a little girl. I was always plenty content with my mom being that person. So I never really, like, I didn't have a desire to have my own house and cook in my own kitchen, and that was never part of my thought processes. So it still kind of trips me out once in a while where I'm like, holy shit. I'm doing the thing, the adulting thing. I'm an actual adult. Anybody have those moments? Oh, good. I'm glad to see that. Yeah, I still have those moments where I'm like, gosh, I'm a full-blown adult. Like, really and truly, I'm an actual grown-up, and gosh, I hate it. I mean, not that it, like, I get to choose what I can do, you know what I mean? It's not like I have to act like a 42-year-old because I'm a 42-year-old. But, yeah, it's so bizarre. My body feels 42. My brain does not. And I hope that does continue. Maybe that's why, like, you see those little... My daughter takes care of a 99-year-old lady. And I guess the other night she asked her, you know, are you ready to get in bed? Can I help you get into bed? And this adorable little 99-year-old, she's just so adorable. She just blinks at her and goes, is there anything I can do to help you get ready for bed? It was very cute. But yeah, maybe that's why you get those cute little sassy elderly people, because their brains are not 90-something years old. Their brains feel like ours do right now. Yeah, the black paint definitely goes so much faster than the white. It's kind of nice. But once I make a full round on the black, then I gotta let it all dry, because now I can't go back up to the white without really taking the chance of laying in the black and getting it all over. So that'll give it a chance for the black and the white to dry. So in here, I don't want it, like, I don't know if it burnt or it just broke out as it was, because the grain is so fine. But I'm just like really layering the paint on thick to try to fill it in a little bit, even though I know it's just gonna soak in and still have a divot in it. But it's worth a shot. It helps, at least, I've noticed. And if nothing else, if I really cover the grains up, it maybe won't be as obvious. So yeah, this is if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Nordic, but I think it's like Viking symbology or heathen symbology. Not really sure. But I feel like these are things that I've seen on runes before. When I've been floating through different witchcraft stuff. These look like rune symbols, but there's a name for it. I just can't freaking think of it. It's a something alphabet. Yeah. Crazy, crazy. So yeah, once I get all the way, oh, maybe not all the way around. That would be like a 3-hour live. No, it won't take me that long, but I thought maybe I was making my way around the other side already. I was gonna say I'll end the live when I stop to let it dry. We'll see. No obligation to hang out until I'm done, BR. I promise. I appreciate you showing up and hanging out. Especially on my first live ever. My first live stream ever. You were the one person in here. Yeah. So, I live in Minnesota, and we so far are doing pretty good. I know our winter really hits like end of December, January, February. But, Usually by now we've had quite a few snows and a lot of ice and, you know, super cold temperatures already. But it's been pretty mild. I think it was 43 yesterday. And we did get a snow last week, and it's hanging around, melting a little bit and then freezing and melting a little bit, freezing. But yesterday on my drive home, about midway of the second half of my drive, all of a sudden the fog was so bad I could only see maybe 20 feet in front of the car. I had to slow down to like 40 miles an hour, then down to 30, because there are some pretty decent curves on my road, and I couldn't tell when they were coming or not. I couldn't see far enough, so I had to slow way down for a huge chunk of my drive home. And then all of a sudden, like a mile and a half before my my town, it just poof cleared up. I was like, what the hell? It was crazy. Super crazy fog. I haven't seen fog like that in a long time. Real super dense and thick like that. I'd have been screwed if a deer ran out in front of me. I wouldn't have been able to see it. Not fast enough anyway. Oh my gosh, that fly is back. There's a fly in my house. I don't have the fly swatter in here. And my lazy cat is not doing his job and catching the flies. Unless this is the same one that was in the living room earlier. It might be. You know what's funny to me? Especially for those of us that don't have like 10,000 subscribers. Like, people with not a lot of subscribers, or who don't have a lot of, or, you know, like, haven't done very many lives yet. It's like so funny to me that we all just sit here talking and talking and talking and talking. One of the Minecraft channels I watch is, well, I don't really watch him that much, because he's definitely kind of an acquired taste kind of guy, but his name is IBX Toy Cat, and I have never heard anybody be able to talk like him. He could literally probably, and I think he has done like 12-hour streams. And I don't think he stops talking pretty much the whole time. Takes a special kind of person. Definitely a special kind of person. Thank you. I appreciate you coming. Have a good Thanksgiving weekend. Just painting away. I hope this is in the camera shot. It would not make a lot of sense if it's not. As to why I'm being so quiet. I am concentrating on painting. Making a mess on my desk. Oh my god, the fly just buzzed my ear. I literally knocked my glasses off into the sink earlier because the fly buzzed my head while my hands were full of food stuff. And I frantically waved my arms in the air and knocked my glasses off into the sink. Hello, kitty. That's not a plate. Stop licking that. Goofy cat. I just realized I haven't had to have my burnt hand on the frozen steak for a while, so I can probably put it away. What are you eating, cat? Oh, you're licking yourself? Yeah, I see that. Okay. I thought you were eating something off the floor. I apologize. I apologize. Shouldn't assume things. Although that is usually what you're doing. Kitty, kitty, meow, meow. Kitty, kitty, meow, meow. Oh. Well, that at least tells me that my YouTube subscribers can find me. Kind of thought that Streamlabs would have a lot more buttons and doodads, I guess. I don't know. I guess I thought streaming would be a lot more complex on my end of the screen. But it's not, which is pretty cool, actually. But that's probably literally why it took me so long, is because I was intimidated by something that I hadn't even checked out yet. So, thanks to Journals of Awakening, I finally got the balls to do it. Man, this paint just soaks right into this wood. It's crazy. Like I barely have to move it around and it just soaks right in. Like a sponge. Man, I don't know why you come in here to clean yourself. You know I hate the sound of you cleaning yourself, cat. Kitty, kitty, meow, meow. Go clean yourself somewhere else. Please. Can you go bathe somewhere else? I would appreciate it. I hate the sound of animals licking themselves. It absolutely drives me nuts. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Can't handle it. Kitty, meow, meow. Go bathe somewhere else, please. Go on. Go. Out. Yeah, I said it. Out. Out. Well, either lay down or get out. Please. Usually he listens when you say out, but apparently not today. Unless you came in to catch the fly. If you came in to... Oh, okay, bye. He did not come in to catch the fly. What an asshole. Yeah, it's definitely one of my pet peeves is animals licking themselves. Once in a great while it doesn't bug me, but 98% of the time it does. Okay, how far am I from the start? I'm actually almost to the letters. Alright, I'm just going to keep going until I get to the letter I started on. And then I'm going to end the live. And that will be one for the record books. First live ever. Technically second, but I deleted the first one. But who's counting? Got it. The bad thing about the black is if I boo-boo, it doesn't scratch off as well. And it also might not scratch off as well over here because this wood seems way more absorbent than it did up where I'm painting on the white. I can't get over how fast it's absorbing it. Alright. I mean, the good news is the white is pretty much dry. yeah, I've got multiple projects going on right now, so I'm not trying to stay on any one of them too long. I will rotate while one is fully drying and rotate to the next, and then rotate that out if I'm painting for long periods. Ooh, that was a little goopy goo. So I kind of already did this once before, and then this second round I'm just filling in a little bit more that I didn't fill in the first time, and I'll do that the third time as well. And then if there's anything left, I'll go through with a more detailed brush and get the detailed edges. I do find that I really enjoy painting things. It's very therapeutic. I do have some of my drawings that I'm recreating. Well, I wouldn't say recreating. So the first time I did them, either they weren't centered. Well, most of them just weren't centered. So I'm redoing them in my larger sketchbook and making sure that they're centered, because I would like to finally put out my coloring book of my own personal art. Now that I know how, I just gotta get all the drawings done. But I'm having a harder time working on my drawings than I thought I would. Because basically, for the main part of it, I would need to be here at this desk. And I'm in a very uncomfortable chair, A. And B, what was the B? A? I mean, I'm sitting in an upright position. I'd rather be curled up on the couch. But if I can convince myself to do the basic outlines here where I have a flat surface to make sure that everything is square and centered and blah blah blah, then I can do the detail curled up on the couch. Although the last one I did, I wasn't very careful about making sure that things were even and centered, and yeah, it was real bad. So I didn't, well, what was really happening is I wasn't having the patience to make it as good as I had wanted to make it, and so I just kind of half-assed through it. So that may be one that I have to try a third time to get a good one. And really take my time making sure everything's even and centered and uniform. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's kind of the idea, is that it's not perfect. It's literal hand-drawn drawings, not digital, perfectly symmetrical pictures. Alright. I've got 2 letters after, 2 symbols, I guess, after this one. And then I'm going to end the live. Thank you to Smouse and Be Our Chef for coming into my live tonight. I appreciate it. I don't know how often I'll be doing lives. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I started the anti-inflammatory diet and didn't get very far with that. But, yeah, I had some logistics to figure out with that, as far as, like, time and energy to be able to grocery shop and prep and yada yada. If I can figure out a better way to do it, it will definitely be something I would like to pick back up and actually implement fully. But the grocery shopping, pretty much the grocery shopping, the going to get the groceries, doing the shopping, bringing them home, putting them away, and then making the food. It's like a whole day, it feels like. And I don't want to take one full day of my days off just doing that. We've got, hi Punkadoodle. I don't know if he came into the shot or not. You know, the dog needs to be brushed. I have dishes to do, vacuuming to do, windows to clean, things to paint, laundry, bathrooms, you know, the usual stuff. And then I'm also trying to still sort through all of the clutter that we have collected over the years that I am ready to rehome. And that has been a very slow process. I need to been putting a lot of stuff on the Facebook Marketplace, and I have a bunch of Christmas stuff that I keep telling myself I need to get on the Marketplace. Now's the time. And I just keep avoiding it and doing everything but. Because why not? Alright, this is my last letter because I started with the X looking symbol that's right next to me. So as soon as this is good to go, get those edges. Gonna end the live. And it's good to go. Thanks for coming. Bye.